studio with Keisha, and we are about to do her brows. So we're going to do some Ombre Combo Brows on her, and we've been trying to get to these brows for months. So happy that we finally get to do them. I'll post the pictures and the videos and everything after we're done with her brows. So this whole process takes about 3 hours from start to finish. So we shape her brows, wax them, measure them. Then, you know, once she approves the shape and the size of her brows and, you know, they're symmetrical, everything's good to go, we do the outline. And then I put her numbing cream on, which is what's been sitting on her brows for the last 30 minutes. And it penetrates pretty deep because we've already done the outline. And the outline is pretty painless. What do you say?
Yeah, it's painless.
Yeah. And that's like the hardest part of the whole service. So this part of the process takes about an hour, the actual shading. I think the longest part of the whole process in most cases is the pre-draw.
I didn't even know you touched me.
You did it?
No.
See, people never realize that like they're numb already. So for the shading, I use a machine. It's not super loud. Monica, I only remove the eyebrow hair that's outside of the shape of the desired brow. So she still has a lot of eyebrow hair in here. But it's just like if I were to, you know, wax her brows, the hair that I would take off is the same hair that I take off for this service. And because with this machine, the needle doesn't go as deep as a tattoo needle would, it also doesn't remove the rest of your hair, which is how it's able to give like a softer appearance. So the brow that we're doing is my absolute favorite. It's an ombre brow. So it's a combination of microblading and micro shading. It's not just one or the other. So you're able to achieve a really nice gradient brow. I find that with microblading, sometimes it doesn't give the finished filled in look that people desire. And I notice, or I feel like with micro shading alone, sometimes if they don't have enough hair on the inside of their brow, then it kind of disappears. Taisha, the whole process takes about 3 hours from start to finish. I'd say like 2.5 to 3 hours. And it's pretty painless. What would you say on a scale of 1 to 10?
I don't feel anything.
She doesn't feel anything. You're welcome, Monica. Feel free to share this video. A lot of people still aren't aware of what this whole process is. So the more shares, the more, you know, people we can get this across to. Micro shading lasts, yeah, like 2 to 3 years. It really depends on the person's like skin. I find if you have dry skin, it lasts even longer. The color and the pigment retains longer than if you have oily skin. And so I'm doing the first pass right now. I do each pass like 2 to 3 times, depending on, again, the skin's ability to retain the ink. That tells me how many times I need to do it. As far as blood, because I get a lot of people that ask, it's very minimal as long as you are doing it the right way. Like it's on the sun, she has a little bit of blood on the surface of her skin, but it's not like she's bleeding, which is a normal thing, because I am cutting into her face with a needle. And we're doing like a really nice, it's called bold brown, but it's not a super dark brown. It's a really pretty brown. And she's going to lose some of the pigment through the healing process. So you want to do them, you know, a little bit darker than you would wear them on a daily basis, just so that once they heal and you lose some of the pigment, you still have something there. But you don't want to do them, you know, too dark. And we will do a touch up as well. This is just the initial. And I'm pretty much through her whole brow and she's still not feeling anything.
No, I don't feel anything.
And again, I numb her with just a topical lidocaine. It's not like a lot of people think that something has to be injected. You need school. Devin, I actually teach microblading. So I've taken several classes over the past 4 years for microblading and shading. And so now I teach them myself. I have a studio here in Chandler. So I do private classes, and then once a quarter out here in Phoenix, I'll do like a group class. So feel free to DM me, send me a private message in my inbox if you have any questions about training or you're interested in it. I also travel to train. I go to San Diego every couple months. I'm going to North Carolina in a few months. I'm going to Atlanta next month. So if you're interested and you're in any of those places, feel free to reach out. Taisha, the touch-up is after like 8 to 10 weeks. So even though I wax her brows, I can still see a few hairs around the shape of the brow now that I'm going to want to remove. So I just have like a disposable razor that I'm going to use. So that was the micro shading machine. I'm going to do a couple hair strokes on the inside of her brow with the microblading hand tool. So this is the hand tool, and there's a bunch of micro needles that make up a blade, which is how I'm able to draw in like the illusion of super precise hair strokes. So we're done with the first pass of her first brow. I can't see what you guys can see. It's just lightly shaded in the first pass, but you can see how much hair she still has. She has all of her brow hair. And this technique isn't going to take out any more of her brow hair than I take out. But you can still see the shading underneath that. So again, now I'm just going to use the disposable razor. It's brand new, of course. I'm just going to get rid of any super long hairs or extra hair that'll get in the way of the shape that we decided for the now that I finished cleaning that up, I'll move on to the next brow. I'm just gonna put a little more ink just to let that kind of saturate into what I've done so far. I know there's still a lot of mysteries behind this, and because it is kind of a time-consuming process, a lot of people will like speed up this part of the process, but I feel like this is the best way to explain exactly what's happening, is for you to see it. So this is the first pass on brow 2. Why do you have one curly eye? Okay. This is brow 1. We've only done one pass. Did an ink mask, let some ink sit on it. So now we're going to go over it for the second pass. Again, we're doing ombre brows on Keisha, which is micro blading on the inside of her brows and then micro shading throughout the rest of her brow. It lasts 2 to 3 years, sometimes longer, depending on the person. Especially if you have dry skin, they'll probably last a lot longer than that. The whole process is about 3 hours from start to finish. I draw your brows on. Once we approve like the shape and everything, then I draw the outline, then we pre-numb you, or pre-draw you, I'm sorry, then numb you with the topical lidocaine, and then we go in and start shading. So now, after I learned how to do nano brows, which is like microblading with the machine, I go over it the first 2 times with the microblade, but the 3rd time, because the machine, you know, goes a little deeper than the needles, I'll go over the hair strokes with the machine. Oh, Trey, what I was saying I go over is the microblading hair strokes. So it'll just help them to penetrate deeper. So I already do the hair strokes. I already have the outline for the strokes. I just go over them really steady with this gun. Especially because the second session that we do in 8 weeks, 8 to 10 weeks, is really like the perfecting session.
Okay.
So once they're healed, then we'll be able to see like how much of the color retained, so that we know, you know, if we need to go in dark the next time or what exactly we'll need to do. Makeup, and for permanent makeup I do, and I'm an esthetician, but for permanent makeup I do brows, I do eyeliner now, scalp micropigmentation, edge restoration for women. Because I'm able to do the really precise hair strokes, I can also do them you know, on your edges to give you like a fuller appearance. Micro shading is done with this machine. Kind of resembles a tattoo machine. Microblading is done with this hand tool and this blade. So there's a bunch of micro needles. I believe this one has 16 different needles. And that way I'm able to create super fine hair strokes. Is microblading good? Excuse me. I like them both. I do find that I like micro shading or ombre brows more, specifically for women of color because the ink retains better since it goes a little bit deeper when you have oily skin. So I find when you have microblading, sometimes if you have oily skin, once the microblading heals, the hair strokes aren't as precise. So the hair strokes aren't as precise with microblading. And then with micro shading, like I said, it's just shaded in. So it retains better, it lasts longer. I definitely like it better. But when I pair the two of them together, I really like, when I pair the two of them together, I really like the end result of them both. Because I don't like harsh brows on the inside. I like for the inside of the brow to be as soft. Turn your head a little, Keisha. I like the inside to be as soft as possible. So once the hair strokes heal, it'll just kind of look like the rest of her hair with a little bit of shading. But then throughout the rest of her brow, the shading will be more prominent. So this brow's done. Completely done. You know, like I said, it takes about 2 weeks for them to heal, so we won't know exactly how much of the pigment the brows will retain. They typically lose anywhere from like 20 to 40% of the pigment, but that's a case-by-case thing. Sometimes people keep all the pigment in.
Yes. Oh, we just, man. Hurry up.
Barely shake.
Ah, yes.
Thank you.
Team, they look so good. I ain't gotta do my brows.
You ain't gotta do your brows.
Dang. Yes. And they're even.
Thank you. She said the best she's seen so far.
I told you.
Oh, I know.
Shawanna,
Oily?
I told you.
So we are done with her brows.
Y'all see that? My face is beaming, but that's okay. Wait till they heal, y'all.
Right. So these are Keisha's finished ombre brows. How was it? How was the healing process?
It was great.
You can open your eyes, girl.
It was good.
And lashes.
Yeah.
We just did lashes. Was it painful?
No, it wasn't painful at all. Like I said, I went to sleep twice. The numbing did a good job. I would do it again. I have no problem doing this again. It's well worth it, guys.
And they're done. They're on there.
Yeah, they're not coming off.
Right.
At all.
And we didn't even do her touch-up yet.
No.
So
Not yet. We
this
have
is
2
just
more
our
weeks.
Initial. Feel free to inbox me. Feel free to text me if you have any questions about the service. I'll post this video so you guys can rewatch it just to see how the whole process went. And thank you so much for watching and commenting and being interactive. Yay! Thank you. Have a good night or good morning. It's morning.
Right.
Good night, everyone.